Hello. All right. Well, I'm talking to you from the inside of the camper because we're on our way to Canada. Anyway, this is the last letter of Brother Lawrence. He actually wrote this letter and within a week had gone to bed and passed away. And he was quite old and he was very much at peace. And so basically, he's writing this to a friend of his to encourage him. And he says, God knows best what is needed for us, and all that God does is for our good. If we knew how much He loves us, we would always be ready to receive equally and with indifference from His hand the sweet and the bitter. All would please that came from Him. The sorest afflictions never would appear intolerable, but they only appear intolerable when we see them with the wrong light. But when we see them in the hand of God, who allows them, when we know it is still our loving Father who is there, our sufferings will lose their bitterness and even become a matter of consolation. And I think what he's meaning here is that even when we have trouble, if we realize that God is with us and that He is allowing this to happen for our own good, that in the end, everything will work out together for good and be for our benefit, then it's actually consolation. It's actually a relief to know that, oh, God is working again with us. He is either teaching us or going to give us a huge blessing at the end. And it becomes a consolation and not a suffering anymore. He writes, let all our work, our employment, be to know God. The more one knows God, the more one wants to know Him. And as knowledge is commonly the measure of love, the deeper and more extensive our knowledge shall be, the greater will be our love. And if our love of God were great, we should love Him equally in pains and in pleasures. And basically it's saying that when you love someone, God, anyone too, you want to know them better. You want to understand and know what they want, know what they think about things. You want to know them. So you take time to get to know them more. You spend time with them. You ask them questions. You pray to God. You read the Bible, which is part of His Word. You see what He puts out there in life. You see the beautiful birds and nature. You see how people, strangers, might talk to you and tell you something that God is speaking to you through them. And this is how we learn to know God more. And as we learn to know God, as we know God, we love Him more because we realize how wonderful His love is for us and how much He loves us. And he goes on to write, let us not amuse ourselves to seek or to love God for the favors that come, even though we end up having amazing favors. Although these favors, never so great, cannot bring us so near to God as faith does in one simple act. So basically what he's saying is, yes, we're loving God, we're praying that our answers come through, that we are blessed with blessings. However, the blessings that come, the gifts that God gives us, is not as great as having faith in God. Let us seek Him often by faith. He is within us. Do not look for Him anywhere else. Are we not rude and deserve blame if we leave God alone to busy ourselves about little things of life which do not please Him and perhaps offend Him? 'Tis to be feared that these trifles will one day cost us dearly. We shouldn't worry about what's going on in our little businesses of living life on earth. We should seek God. And remember, God is within us. We don't have to go anywhere. We don't have to do anything special but talk to God, think of God, love God, honor God, adore God. Let us begin to be devoted to Him in good earnest. Let us cast everything besides God out of our hearts. He would possess them alone. beg this favor of him. If we do what we can on our parts, we shall soon see that change wrought in us which we aspire after. And that was it. That was his letter. At the end, he writes, I hope from his mercy the favor to see him within a few days. Let us pray for one another. And it says he took to his bed 2 days after and died within the week. So that is the end of Brother Lawrence's conversations and letters. I hope that that this has helped you like it has helped me. I continue to want to think of God and adore him and dwell on his love. And my next lessons, I'm thinking of doing St. Francis of Assisi, a different sort of monk. But so if you'd like to continue with me, just subscribe or just keep looking on YouTube. All right, have a great day. Take care. Bye.